about
This
6 a.m.,
conference
right?
will now be recorded.
It's about 6 a.m. We're in the kitchen, and Nick Kalikas had come by last night for a little bit. Anyway, there was a package at our front door. He gives it to me. He's like, hey, Amazon must have just dropped this off. I come in and I'm like, and my girl's like, oh, it's that a wok I ordered for you. Because anyway, I love to cook. Little secret you guys don't know, I love to cook. I've been grilling every day this week. And I told her, because she was talking about like teriyaki chicken one day. Anyway, I said, I'll blow that shit away. I just wish I had my wok. I don't have my wok. I didn't bring it with me. Well, actually, my ex kept it probably. Anyway, to make a long story short, we're there in the morning. It's about 6 a.m. I'm there at the counter making my coffee. She's up also doing her thing, and the box was there. And I said, babe, I got a wok, just like that. And she's like, nuh-uh. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, who? And I'm like, what? And she's like, who? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Dude, she thought I said I got a lock on the UFC card for MMA today. Within 6 months, a woman that's never really, she's gambled, slots or whatever, blackjack having for fun, but never sports bet or anything like that, is now looking for locks at 6 o'clock in the morning. So anyway, thought you guys would laugh at that. Yeah, I said, I got my wok. And I said, I got a wok. She's like, nuh-uh, who? Anyway, we got a lot of action. I've given out a lot of stuff today, and actually I got something that just came in. So remember, this is not for all you guys joining us today because it's free open access. I just want you guys to know this isn't pre-planned. It's not a podcast. It's not a show. I don't have a script or anything like that. This is a weekly meeting that I have with my long-term subscribers so that we put ourselves in the best position to profit together. Meaning we go over our year results, we go over our current results, we talk about long-term, we talk about where we are, where we want to go, how we're going to get there. We cover our bet sizing over and over again, so we get that down to a science. And then while this is going on, I answer any questions, any comments. That's what I'm here for. I work for you. I'm here to be accountable to you. You trusted me enough based on my long-term results to partner with me. So I owe you that to come in here, whether I've won or lost over the last 7 days, so that if I truly am a long-term winner, I need to make sure those guys that want to partner with me, I'm there for them, and not just, okay, I take your money for the year, just send you picks, you do what you got to do with them. No. I'm going to give you the picks, but that's just part one of the puzzle. You got to have all the pieces of the puzzle, and those picks are worthless to my subscribers if I don't make sure that they're managing their risk correctly, because most of them are going to go broke sometime throughout the year over a losing stretch. That's a mathematical certainty for all bettors, and my job is to help them avoid that, because I've turned the profit 8 of the last 9 years, but I know a lot of my subscribers didn't, because they got wiped out when they truly shouldn't have. And the reason they did is because they had a really high risk of ruin. And once you have an edge, once you can determine with absolute certainty that you have an edge, then you become the master of your results, meaning you determine what you want, whether you want low risk, high risk, and what your risk of ruin is actually going to be. That's correct. Once you determine with certainty that you have an edge, and the way you do that is simple. You look over your last 1,000 bets. Are they profitable? If they are, then you're a favor over to your next 1,000. How about over your last 3,000 bets? Are those profitable? If they are, then you're a favorite over your next 3,000 bets. You don't look at your last 100, last 200, last 500, because they have zero statistical significance. Or you give them to a mathematician at MIT, they won't be able to differentiate between good luck, bad luck, or an actual edge, because the sample size just isn't big enough. Yes, they can see how many of those bets beat the closing line and determine did you have an edge that way, but that'll be after the fact. So what we look at is a big enough sample size. And once that's the case, you know, if you bet size correctly, you're a mathematical certainty then to turn a profit over your next 1,000 bets, 3,000 bets. Now, the reason 99.5% of bettors and pick sellers don't show their long-term results is because 99.5% of anyone that's ever placed a sports bet has negative lifetime earnings. That's fact. That's not Ace's opinion. That comes from the sports books themselves. Oh boy, hold on. I got a bet for you guys. You ready? See, we got our betting computer, and then we have our content and work computer. You know, this stuff's got to be very secure, very secure. Okay, you guys ready? Pull up your tennis, pull up your tennis. We're looking at ATP. That's the men's sides, ATP. Anberg, Germany, Anberg, Germany. We're looking for Luciano Darderi, Luciano Darderi. Now, I'm having trouble finding this myself. To where I'm going to have to ask my guys in Philly if they were able to get down for those groups, because I do not see it on the ATP side. I see a lot more tournaments on the WTA side. Let me know if any of you guys had any luck with it, but I have not. I have not. Anyone get any luck with that play? ATP 500, Amberg, Germany, Luciano Danderi up to -150 against Lorenzo Sonego. If you could, ATP Hamburg on DK, yeah, that's probably the only ones that have it. If you could get down, we're laying Luciano -150. DK has 155, I'd lay it. I'd lay it, because it's probably going to get a 160, 170, Grant. Yeah, these tennis probably move. I can't get down at DK. Actually just closed that like 2.5 weeks ago. The agent that had an account for me there got dropped. So I don't have access to DK anymore, but that would be a 3% premium play. Actually, a lot of you guys seem like you guys have it. So I think I am going, you know what? Let me see. Let me just go through my other local. So if I could get it through him, then we will give it out. But it may not even be in the, yep, it's not in the WagerTalk back-end system because it's a smaller tournament. So I won't use it for a premium play. But I'm letting you know now, I'm just DMing my guys in Philly to make sure they get me 3 dimes down. So it's for me, it's 3% play, not 3% of bankroll, not 3% of bankroll, 0.25. So it would be a 0.75% of bankroll. So before we go forward, let's go over that real quickly, please. We're going to go over how we bet size, okay? Because nothing matters more than that. Right now, we're sitting at -100 units, 105 units for the year. That sounds absolutely awful, awful. It's all come in baseball. We were sitting fine. Anyone that's been with me over the last 9 years, this isn't nothing new, being up or down 100, 200 units. Because you have to remember, we're betting 0.25. The reason I chose 0.25 is because the bankroll I'm working with, I'm betting 1x to 5x, and I was comfortable after looking over the last 10 plus years of results that I could accept a 20% risk of ruin. That means based on my edge, I will double my bankroll 8 out of 10 times. I will lose it 2 out of 10 times. I was comfortable with that math because I had backup as well. So to do that, I needed to have 400 units. Okay, I needed 400 units. If you're betting $10 a unit, you'd need 4,000, and you'd be betting 10 to 50. So with a $4,000 bank, your biggest bet would be $50. That would give you a 20% risk of ruin, which means 8 out of 10 times you will double your bank, 2 out of 10 times you will lose it. So as we double it, you put those aside, you put those aside, you put those aside. That one time we lose it, you just slide that one in. That's what I've been able to do with my long-term subscribers who've been with me all those years. Now, I know a lot of them didn't follow along that plan. So they didn't do what I was able to do. And those few guys that compounded their bet sizes from 100 to 500 to now I'm betting 1,000 to 5,000. And I did it that exact same way. I started with a $40,000 bankroll. I didn't even have 40 grand. I had a little over 30,000, but I knew I was working. I was good making money. So I knew I could come up with another 10 dimes if I lost 75% of my bankroll out of the gate. I felt confident that wasn't going to happen. So I bet as if I had a $40,000 bankroll, and I bet 100 to 500. That was it. 1x to 5x. That was 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1%, and 1.25. So I never bet more than 1.25% of bankroll. So if it was a 1% play at WagerTalk, I bet 0.25. If it was a 2% play at WagerTalk, I bet 0.50. 3% play at WagerTalk, 0.75. 4% at WagerTalk, 1%. 5% at WagerTalk, 1.25. See, the percent at WagerTalk was just a rating for me, meaning it didn't matter if it said percent, unit, stars. I'm never going to urge anyone to bet 3%, 4%, 5% of their bankroll on their bet, because I'd be having them betting in that 95% risk of ruin range, where they're going to lose their bankroll 9 out of 10 times and double it less than 1 out of 10 times, even with an edge. See, that's the math. That's not Ace's opinion. That's the math, which is why I urge everybody that's sports betting to take a step back. And before we start talking about the picks, understand this concept that if you overbet your edge, even if you have an edge, you will lose money and you will go broke. This is why 99.5% of anyone that's ever placed a sports bet has negative lifetime earnings. I am a perfect example of that. I've said that so many times. I had access to the most profitable information when it was the easiest to get down at good numbers. And I still managed to lose bankroll over bankroll over bankroll because I was managing my risk incorrectly. I was over betting our edge. So even though the betting syndicate and wise guys that I was moving for were turning a profit every year, I wasn't, because I was out of action most of the times. Within 2-3 months, then I'd have to get money together again. During that time, they were probably winning. So I missed all that. I was doing it all wrong, which is why I sat down with Gianni and I told him I'm done selling picks. I don't want to sell picks anymore. I don't want to sell big plays and packages anymore. I'm not helping anybody, bro. And I'm at a place in my life right now where fortunately I'm financially comfortable enough that I don't need to sell a package. I don't need to push a pay. But I'm willing to partner up with guys that actually are sick of going through the ringer and are ready to do this legitimately, for real, long term. And by long term, I'm not talking 3 months, 6 months, a year. I'm talking like I did. Make it an investment. When you invest in stock long term, when you have your 401k, if you have your Roth IRA, you don't have it for 1 year. You don't have it. You don't looking at it for 6 months, for 3 months. You're looking at it, how it's going to do for you over 5 years, over 10 years, over 20 years. That's why I started this program, because I saw we are in that 0.5% that actually do have an edge. And I made this market an investment vehicle for myself, where I went from betting 100 to 500 to now betting 1,000 to 5,000. So I started with a $40,000 bankroll. I'm now working with a $400,000 bankroll. Yeah, I did that all by myself, bro. I fucking did that. And I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I come from nothing. And I lost so many bankrolls because I had no discipline. But eventually I stopped blaming everyone else, everything else, and looked at myself in the mirror and said, why are you losing when the guys you're working with are winning? And that's the question I have for any subscriber that lost money with me last year. I increased my subscribers' starting bankroll by 80% over 12 months. There is not a single year of the S&P 500 that's done that. No Dow Jones, no Russell 3000, none of them have increased that much in 1 year. We did that. using the sports betting market. That's why I use it. But with that said, it's long term. If guys jumped in for a day, a week, a month, a season, dude, are you kidding me? I can't guarantee nothing in that short term, and anyone that does is fucking lying to you. Winning bettors have losing streaks. Losing bettors have winning streaks. That's just the math. But if you're looking to do this long term, only one of those will be profitable after a statistically significant sample size. And that's the guy with the edge. That's it. That's fact. That's why so few are willing to tell you, this is what I did last year. This is what I did the last 3 years. This is what I did the last 5 years. This is what I did the last 10 years. I do that. And also, none of that profit disappears. So, of course, I go year to year to keep score as a pick seller. But as a sports bettor, I'd never do that. It's one long war with a bunch of battles. So, realistically, even though we're down this year, I could be simply saying, oh, I'm up betting because I'm number one at WagerTalk since it started. I'm number one in profit. I'm up over the last 7 years. Oh, that's what really matters. But you got to get past the first month, the first 6 months, the first year to ever get long term. And that's what the Bet for Ace program was created for. So thank you for joining us today. Sorry for going long. You will get more than enough gold. Trust me, you're not wasting your time. As I see, that tennis bet is already up to 170. Like I said, that's what we do. We move lines. You're seeing that in real time. You're seeing that in real time. The reason they're moving that line isn't because they know that tennis player is going to win that match today, but they know that the person placing that bet is plus EV. They win more than they lose. They're profitable long term. They're in that 0.5%. So they need to make their betting line reflect his bet by adjusting it to reflect what he bet. Fat boy, get down. If you can get down at 145 and it's 170 everywhere, go, go, go. Go, go, go. So that's where we are. That's where we stand right now at 105 units down. Let's do the math. 0.25. It's easy. We're down 25%. 25% of starting bankroll. That's it. That's it. I've had crypto move like that in an afternoon. I've lost 25% in an afternoon and gone up 25% in an afternoon. Like, if you're not built for that, then you shouldn't be sports betting, because sports betting is like day trading and there's going to be fluctuations. And if this is difficult, then don't attempt card counting, which I'm going to have a seminar on and teach those so I could have an army of killers out there crushing these casinos. But it's going to have to be men and women that are built for this, that understand there's going to be fluctuations to your bankroll just like that. And you're still going to have to wake up the next day and go bet correctly. Even if we're down 30, dude, we were working with an $800,000 bankroll, lost 250,000 in our very first session. Okay. So we were down 250 grand, 30% of bankroll in our very first session. Everyone in the room was depleted, depressed. We're like, fuck. We ordered room service. Everyone's pissed. Like, now we got to make all that back. And, you know, it's going to take a long time. That was just randomness, a short-term sample where it just was terrible. And we dumped. And we're thinking, no, it's got to work this all the way back. By the time we get it back, this may be a fucking terrible trip now. We're going to have to work for 2 weeks just to get back to even. And it's only supposed to be a fucking 1 month bankroll. So how much are we even going to make off of this working for a month? Dude, and then one guy stood up and said, you know the math. He showed it on his computer, the standard deviations. You're within standard deviation where you should be. If you didn't know this was a possibility, get the fuck out of the room. You need to eat your fucking meal, grow the fuck up, get the fuck out there, and follow the blueprint, which is how we got the 800,000 together. Everybody shut the fuck up. Everybody ate their food, and everyone went back out there and grinded. And as the story goes, now it wasn't a fairy tale ending, but yes, we did get that money back, and we ended up turning a profit, a little bit of a profit over that month. Sure, Was the work probably worth it? Maybe not. Probably I could have got a job making 20 bucks an hour and probably made more, but it was an experience that I learned so much that proved to me if you just do the right thing over and over and over again, there's nothing the casino could do. The only thing that'll beat me is me, or the demons. If I overbet, if I chase, if I do those things, as long as I play blackjack the way I know how to play blackjack, they can't win. I have the edge. I have the edge. Let me get to some questions so I can get you some games. Okay, at this rate, I don't think my 10K roll is going to last a year. I'm right size bet down 2K in 2 weeks. So at this rate, my roll will be gone in 2 months. Well, that's if you lose 2 dimes every week. Nada. That's if you listen. If you're not comfortable, you got to stop. Please don't bet. Don't continue doing this. If you're already looking ahead, like, oh, I lost 2 dimes in 2 weeks, so at this rate, I'm going to be broke in 5 weeks. If that's the mindset going in, then you should not be betting. I'm comfortable because I have my history. And I hope you guys signed up because you trust in the long-term results and understand that there's going to be short-term variance. And that's what what we're dealing with right now. So you're not even down 25%. You're only 20% down on your bankroll. Until you get to 5,000, you don't even have to adjust anything. You don't have to change anything. When we started the steam room last year, we went down like 60%. Where we were right a week before having to adjusting. I'm sorry, like 44%. And I was like, next week we're going to be forced to adjust if we lose again, lower our bankroll. We turned it around. We ended up increasing, like I said, the starting capital when all the dust settled by 80%. I can't promise you that's going to happen over the next 5.5 months, and that 2024 is going to be as good as 2023 or better. And I can't even guarantee you that 2024 is going to be a winning year. Anyone that does is lying to you. Because, again, my goal is to be a winning sports bettor. And I've won 8 of the last 9 years documented. So, yes, I am. And I have all that profit. It doesn't just disappear. And I'm hoping that the guys and girls that partner up with me in a few years are saying the same thing. That 4 years from now, if we start off and we're down 100 units, you're like, oh, well, I have last year's profit, the year before profit, the year before profit, and the year before profit. So who gives a fuck? We're just going to grind this back like we always do. Like, I want you to get to that point, but you'll never get there until you get over learning how to lose. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose. Just like losing bettors do, I'm going to lose too. The difference is I'm going to win a lot more than they do over the long term. That's why losing bettors sell picks too, because they have hot streaks. You don't think a losing bettor could flip coins and go on a 10-0 run? That'll happen to any losing bettor. But it's tell me your last 500, tell me your last 1,000, tell me your last 10,000. That's the goal. And unless you're not going to be betting tomorrow and you're only going to be betting today, that's all you should be focused on. Again, if you're only going to be betting today, the only thing that matters is picking the winners today. The fucking line doesn't matter. Closing line value doesn't matter. Getting the best of the half point, none of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is picking the right winner today. But if you're going to bet tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, then you can't worry about who's going to win. You got to think about finding plus EV bets, placing good bets, and that's it. Knowing you're going to lose a lot of good bets. You're going to lose a ton of great bets. Shit, I could give you 50 to 1 on one coin flip. And if we flip it, you could lose that because it's 50-50. I have just as good of a chance as you do. The difference is you're getting 50 to 1. I'm getting even money. So for you, that was the best bet you'll ever find. You'll never find a bet like that again. But you lost it. So what does that mean? That was a sucky bet? That was a bad bet? Of course not. It's just like the guys were asking, someone's asking me about volume. Why volume? Why volume? Let me ask you this. Let me explain this to you. Because here's the misconception that's out there. This is more important than any picks. And don't worry, I only plan going an hour, 90 minutes at the most. Okay? So we'll get everything out there, trust me. But here's the problem why most recreational bettors are afraid of volume. It's because they're underfunded. So they run out of money. They're betting too much. So then when more plays come out, they don't have any more in their accounts and they can't bet them. So that pisses them off. So they're like, oh, well, why does this guy's only give out 3 plays, only 5 plays? Let me ask you something. Just, again, nothing with me, nothing with sports betting, nothing at all. Just hypothetically now, hypothetically. You walk into the casino. It's the same like it was every other day, except there's one new table. And this new table is called the coin flip. And at this new table, the casino is going to give you 2 to 1 when you guess right. It's a special promotion they're doing, 24 hours only. And you get 2 to 1 on your coin flip, and you only have to pay even money when you lose. How many bets, how many times are you going to ask them to flip that coin? How many times are you going to do it? Once, twice, 5 times? So you don't want to do too many, right? You said volume's bad. Volume gets you crushed. Volume gets you buried. So you're only going to go for 5 flips? 7 flips maybe if it's a Saturday? Is that what you're telling me? Of course not. You're going to want to fucking stand there for every fucking second of that 24 hours and flip that coin because you have an edge. You have the advantage. When you have the advantage, you need volume because you're only going to profit 1 of 2 ways: with volume or increasing bet size. When you increase bet size, you increase your risk of ruin. So now you're betting from a position of weakness. When you increase your volume, as long as it's plus EV, you're increasing your profit long term. So please lose that misconception. Volume is bad if you're a losing bettor. Volume is bad if you don't have an edge. Waking up and saying I'm going to find 3 plays today is definitely negative EV, because you don't know what the market's going to offer you that day. You have no idea. They may give you 15 fucked up lines today and only 3 of them tomorrow. Anyone that's doing it like that is already telling you they're not doing it for real. Nobody doing this for real bets like that. Nobody actually makes money betting sports bets like that. And I promise you, the only reason I'm able to say this is because of the network I work with. That's it. And the experience that I have. That's my job. I provide accounts for winners. So of course I see all this stuff. Just like that tennis play that came in, I got them down. So of course we're going to get the best numbers. And here's another one for you. You ready? Here's a prop for you. Let's go prop. MLB baseball. All right. Pull up the Chicago White Sox game. Chicago White Sox. Okay. Look for strikeout props. We're looking for Chris Flexen. We're going under 4.5, minus 140, minus 145, 3% play. Minus 140, 145, 3% play. I'm putting it in at 145 as a 3% play. Bet it now. It will not be there at minus 145 for very long. So that's Chris Flexen, White Sox, 3%, under 4.5, under 4.5. 3%. That's 0.75 of bankroll. Minus 145, 974. Chris Flexen. Chicago White Sox, under 4.5, minus 145. Good for you. Someone got 139. You know what's crazy? I want to show you some. I don't believe you just said that. You see that? That's what they sent it out at. Can you see that? That's what they sent it out at. Chris Flexen, minus 139. Good to 145. Good for you. Good for you. make sure that went in. 2 subscribers. Yeah, see, I didn't think it didn't. We were logged out of WagerTalk. See, this is what takes me long, man. Sending the stuff out, because betting it for the groups and you guys is easy. Under 4.5. Chris Flexton. All right. Boom. Now let me confirm to my boy that I got it. What I got him down. This is the job. See, then you tell the group, this is what I got you. They send you the play that they want at the price that they want. And a lot of times with up to how much they want, if there's a limit. See, I only just was able to get him 2 dimes on that up to 145. I could get him more now, but at 150s and stuff. 141. All right. JD's, you're right. You got 139 too. Someone got 130 at Fantastics. My man. Oh, but they limit it? All right. All right. I got to do video later, so that's why I'm thinking maybe I do the hair. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Where was I? I forget where I was. So let me get the questions real quick because I want to give you guys plays. But honestly, guys, bet sizing is more important than anything. If you take anything away from this theme room today, do yourself that favor. Like, don't do it for me. Again, most of you shouldn't be partnered with me because you may not have the bankroll or ready yet for a long-term investment. Like if you're young, you may not want to tie up and use the sports betting market as an investment. You may be looking at other things. That's understandable. And you may just be doing it for entertainment. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I'm there for the guys that actually are sick of buying big bets and when someone's hot and that nonsense and just wants to fucking plus EV shit. And a lot of my guys don't even bet everything I do. They just pick the ones that they agree with, like I do with the groups that I work with. I don't pick everything they bet. You guys would have 800 plays. All right, Ernesto, how are we sliding in a new bankroll during those 20% of times we lose if we're leaving the profits in the bankroll to compound it? When you get to a point where your bet size, Ernesto, is where you're comfortable at. Like where I'm done now, 1,000. When I got to 1,000, 5,000, I was done. I said, I don't need to be bet more than that. I've compounded it enough. I'm now going to use the profits from the sports betting market into other businesses and other investments. But this one has to produce fruit first. And I said it from day one. If you treat it like a business, it's going to pay like a business. But let's all agree on what a business definition of a business is. We know that 80% of all small businesses fail. You're starting this business on your own, so you know that going in, that 8 out of 10 small businesses will fail. We also know that the average small business takes 3 to 5 years to get to break even, to where they've paid off any of their debt. The money it costs to start the store, the money it costs for the equipment, the money it costs for the product that they're selling, all that. And they're finally at even, where now the store is profitable. The business now they could share in the profits. They're not just paying off the store and debts. Okay, now they're at profit mode. That takes 3 to 5 years. This is why 8 out of 10 small businesses fail, because very few people have the mindset of thinking 10 years ahead. Those that do end up owning businesses that are successful and continue profiting from those businesses. But most never get to that point because it is an uphill climb. And for most of the time, you're working and not making money. Dude, I was a partner in a pizza store. I've been in other businesses. And a lot of that's how it is, where you're working, you're not making money. You're happy to be breaking even. and knowing what the future is going to hold for you. This is different. This is different. This, with as long as you have your overhead covered, which is your internet, your information, and your time, you could profit immediately. The overhead you have other than that is your taxes. You don't have insurance. You don't have your employees. You don't have any of that stuff. So this is a small business anyone can start. But you also have to understand, with a small business, what the business is worth. If you start with $1,000 bankroll, then you also have to understand you're starting $1,000 business. So if you started a business for $1,000, what do you expect to make that year? Do you expect to make $1 million? Do you expect to make 10,000, 100,000? Are you going to 10x your money? Would you be happy if you made 20% in a year? Because I know the stock market doesn't give you 20% average yearly. So if you made $200 for the year, you're going to be happy? Tell me sports bettor that would be. God, I'll wait. I'll wait. How many sports bettors that are going to start September 1st for the NFL with $1,000 as their bankroll would say, if I make $200 over these next 365 days, I'll be fucking happy. That was a great job I did. Fucking none of them. None of them. They're all going to start betting $50 a game. I know it because I did it too. They're all going to be starting betting 50 a game. You know what that is? 5% of your bankroll. Your risk of ruin is over 95%. That means only less than 5% will you double your bank. The rest, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it because you're over betting your edge. That's just, again, that's not Ace opinion. That's math. Guys, I tell this to you out of the bottom of my heart. I could be honest. I don't have to bullshit. I don't have to talk about rainbows and butterflies and how easy this is. This isn't easy. This is very difficult. This is very difficult. This is why the casinos continue to pay money for influencers to go out there and try to convince you to bet, because they understand that 99.5 of you are going to lose your money. So it's worth it to them to continue giving influencers money to go out there and promote parlays, promote free picks, promote signing up at this sports book, because they know 99.5% of the people they bring are going to lose. That's real talk, bro. That's real fucking talk. Like I said, you don't have to like my voice. You don't have to like what I'm saying. You don't have to like anything about me. But numbers do not lie. And my numbers talk louder than I can ever speak, And I say it all the time. Please find me someone with even comparable results to mine so I could sign up. I want more sources like that. Dude, I tell you, I'm proud of that. One, Andrew Gambis, I'll say, one of the guys that I work with, who I love, one of my best friends now, going to his wedding in August. He sells picks. He's an originator in MMA. Of course I want his stuff. I love the guy. I'll promote the guy. Are you kidding me? I'm not ashamed. I'm not shy about that stuff. If you're winning, I want your shit. I want to move for you, or I want to bet it. I have no pride with that. I have no ego with that. I decided early on that I am going to be an asset to winning sports bettors. I was a one-man show. I did not have the brains or the network to beat 11 to 10 in every sport, in every market. Sure, over the last 30 years, I've learned enough to find my small edges. So a lot of the stuff is mine, but the majority is from other guys, winning groups and wise guys. And because I found out very early on that there are people that win. So I became an asset to those people by providing accounts, And that's how I made my money, to then help bankroll, to then be able to bet the stuff properly. And I want you to bet the stuff properly. So let me answer some questions. Tell me if I missed anything, because we're all over the place. I don't want to miss anything. And I want to give you guys some plays. For sure. 25% off, 30 days or longer. There you go. You can't beat that. Like I said, sign up. I'm not pushing anyone to sign up. If you're not properly funded, please do not sign up. But anyone that is properly funded, that wants to partner for a year, this is when you do it. At a time when I'm not running hot, because I'm going to regress or progress to the mean. We all do, which is I'm not going to be able to sustain a negative 10% ROI, just like I can't sustain a positive 10% ROI. I tell my subscribers that all the time. When I'm number one over the 3 days, last 7 days, last 30 days, and it shows that I'm 70% with a 22% ROI, I tell my subscribers right away, that's unsustainable. So before you get too excited, yes, I'm happy we made that money, but if you expect that's going to be the next 30 days, next 30 days, next 30 days, next 30 days, it's not. Let me just end the suspense right now. Let me kill it right now for you, because it's not sustainable. Well, my negative 10% ROI is not sustainable. If I'm flipping coins, it's not sustainable. I could just have my girl tell her to pick a city every day and give that as the pick. And minus 10% is not sustainable. Even throwing darts, you're going to be 50-50. So if anything, with a plus EV guy who's negative 10% ROI, that's when you want to jump on, because you expect them to regress towards the mean, actually progress towards the mean. And what's my mean? My mean's been profitable 8 of the last 9 years. So I should regress or progress towards a mean. If I was up 10% ROI, but lifetime I'm a negative EV bettor, then you would expect me to regress towards the mean. But see, most recreational bettors do it the opposite. They see a guy that's hot over the 3 days, 7 days, 10 days, and instead of asking, how are you over the last 365? And more importantly, over your last 1,000 bets, 2,000 bets, they're like, dude, I got to jump on this. How the guy going to sustain a 20% ROI? Are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me? If he could sustain a 5% ROI, he'd be snatched up by every betting syndicate on the planet. Every single one would be at his door. If he could do it over 5,000 bets. Are you kidding me? So year to date, minus 105, 25% down on starting bankroll from January 1st mark. Yeah, so if anyone that's doing it exactly like I have, that's where they should be. If they started with 100 grand, they should be down 25,000. If they started with 400,000, like my boys that Gianni hooked me up with, they're down 100,000. Sorry, guys. Luckily though, not luckily, they did it. They won 320,000 last year. We increased bankroll by 80%. They started with 400K like I had done. Actually, 500K. What am I thinking? Fuck. They had another 100,000. I keep doing their math wrong. Sorry, guys. So they won 400,000 last year. Okay, they're down 100 this year. They gave 100 back already. So I'm sure they're not happy. They're probably pissed. I love you guys. I know you guys never once send a negative DM. Never. And I text with these guys, never. So I'm kidding. I'm busting balls right now. I promise you. You guys, honestly, the two of the nicest, most honest, genuine people I've ever worked with in my fucking whole entire life. And I swear to you, like, it kills me that you had to give 100K back. It kills me. And I don't even find comfort knowing that you're still up 300,000 since you started with me. I don't find comfort in that, because we're supposed to win this year too, brother. So hold on to your seats, hold on to your hats, because I got 5.5 fucking months in front of me. I got the second half of Major League Baseball. I got preseason NFL. I got college football. I got NFL football. I got NBA coming. I got NHL coming. I got baseball playoffs coming. And I got all those MMA and other markets in the middle. Yeah, I like our chances. You're perfect, Mark. Stay in line. You don't have to change anything yet. And again, I'm not telling you, we're not celebrating this, but like I said, it's not sustainable. So this is going to turn. Even if I'm just flipping coins, this is going to turn, let alone getting gold and getting good stuff. And you saw today, even some of the baseball that we bet twice, I didn't bet 4 times. You saw that. Like we bet St. Louis game 1, right? We bet them first 5 and we bet them for the game. And you saw with the guys that I moved for, we bet them first 5 at minus and first 5 minus a half on the money line and the run line. I didn't give the run line to you guys today. So believe me, I'm on top of this. I'm always trying to manage risk as efficiently as possible. Once I learned that was the key to the game. The picks are secondary. The managing risk part is the key. And I have made a few mistakes. We probably should be 15, 20 units of loss, probably less. because I always am honest with my work. And there were some things I probably could have avoided. But again, you learn. That's 30 years in, and I'm still learning. So with that said, let me get to any. Great question, Sock. How do I feel about the card at elevation? I actually feel good about it. I feel good about it because I factor that into my handicap. Difficult to monetize, to quantify, but you got to factor it in. And here's one that's really sticking out at me, and that's the Drew Dober fight. Because Dober trains in that high altitude, and he's now facing an opponent who fought just 2 weeks ago. We know short opponents on short notice of 30 days or less, okay, lose 2 out of 3 times. Lose 2 out of 3 on 30 days or less. My man's getting this fight on less than 2 weeks notice, and he just fought 2 weeks ago. And now at high altitude. Take that as you will, but I think my guys are going to be seeing a bet on Dober a little later. And actually, my man Andrew gave me that yesterday. What do I think? My thoughts on using a tool to find plus EV bets. I won't mention the name. There's a couple of those that offer that arbitrage. Yeah, it's a different style of betting. I did that a lot. If you do that, here's what I recommend. If you do that, don't gamble. Like, don't bet. Don't try to handicap, and don't like look at matchups like Monday night if there's not a scalp or a middle and try to handicap. And you got to do one or the other. You got to do one or the other. That's where when I made money is when I just did one or the other. Whenever I did both, that's when it screwed everything up and I never made money. I actually lost money most times. That's my advice to you. Yes, arbitrage is profitable if you have the bankroll, the time, and the outs. And the outs. That's key, the outs. Because you're going to have to keep replenishing accounts because one's going to win, one's going to lose. So you may keep winning and losing with the same ones. That's how you get dropped. Like, there's a lot that comes with being an arbitrage bettor. It's lucrative if you have bankroll because you're going to be making a small percentage. And you don't, that's why I say choose one or the other, because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you're grinding over here and over betting over here. Want to choose one? It's hard enough to do it one way and be profitable. Stick to that one way and dive all in. Be as efficient at that. That's my advice. And secondly, there may be something coming down the pipeline to help you out with that, Nate. I may have little surprise announcements coming in the future. Our man Rick, one of the smartest men I know, who is on the team at WagerTalk, is doing some really cool stuff with the odds screen he's created. If you haven't been testing that beta, it's absolutely amazing. Wait till you see what he's going to add to it. Hey, the NCAA futures I sent out yesterday have been slashed. Can you check current odds on your end to advise if there's any value left? Thank you, sir. Let me look. Corvette. It's so awesome. For my car, they send like all kind of like diagnostic reports. Like, these cars are fucking computers now, man. It's so crazy. It freaking emails me the freaking the tire pressure and shit. I'm just seeing if those futures. All right. Yeah, there'll be more futures. There's going to be better bets than that. I definitely would not double piggyback those. The only way I would is if it's like if I liked it already. Like, if you already liked Memphis to win their conference, or you already liked BYU to make it to the playoffs, and I confirmed it for you, then I would. Otherwise, not so much. So let me give that out to you guys right now. I gave out 2 college football premiums. a 4% play that Memphis wins the American Athletic Conference at plus 400. 4%, that means 0.25 of that, so 1% of bankroll. And you need to establish that from the beginning and not change it. That's what I told my guys on January 1st, or if they started with me February 1st, December, whenever they started. You determine your bankroll and your bet size now, and you don't change it no matter how we're running unless it goes up or down by 50%. So let's say you have a $10,000 bankroll, you know you're betting $25 units, 25, 50, 75, 100, 125. You never have to think again. Until we increase that 10,000 to 15 or drop it to 5, you just keep betting the same. So no matter how I did last night, the night before, this week, this month, that emotion's out of the fucking conversation. That's very, very, very important. So we have Memphis plus 400, and then we have Boise State, excuse me, not BYU, Boise State to make the college football playoffs at plus 700 at a 3% play, so 0.75. There's some futures for you. Let me give you some NBA, Summer League NBA real quick. As I explained, I do a YouTube video every day, just something small that's a little bonus with this that I give for free. I say I share information with a lot of other traders. Again, the running, I was a runner. That community is a tight-knit group. We don't all move for the same group, so we share bets so that we could see, do we all line up for the same thing? Is there a difference of opinion? We help each other confirm. So here's some NBA that one of the traders gave me, summer NBA. They gave me 502 Chicago -4, 508 Philly -5.5, 506 Boston plus 2 and +1, 506 under 182 Miami Boston, 503 under 175.5 Charlotte Knicks, 514 Dallas +7, 514 Dallas money line. The only premiums I release to subscribers off of that list are the Celtics at +1, I believe, or +2. Where do we get the Celtics at? Oh, 2 +2 -115 -115. I'd take them at +1. I would take them at +1 since we laid the 15 for 2 if it's still out there. Otherwise, just go money line, and instead of 3%, maybe go 2%. It's a small little play. Because on the summer league plays, when the groups lined up, those have done well. Now, I don't even know if yesterday's won or lost, because I actually said on that video, I don't think we've lost one of these yet. So we probably did lose yesterday's. Oh no, see, we won it, right? Oh no, that was Indiana Fever. Let me see. So I just got to know. Yeah, we won it. See, it was Memphis -3.5. Memphis -3.5. So yeah, when they line up, we've done good. And they lined up today on the Celtics. On the Celtics, they lined up. And then in WNBA, they also lined up in WNBA on Dallas. We took Dallas on the money line. The Fever at -175. So Dallas Fever -175 was a 3% play, which is 0.25 of that, so 0.75. And we also have a 3% play on the Celtics +2. So that's NBA Celtics +2, WNBA Dallas money line -175. I think we have another NBA play, but two freebies is nice. 2 freebies is nice. Let me look at the NBA, give you a couple NBA before I give a UFC. So far, I've only uploaded 2 UFC bets. I have one or two that I'm pretty sure I'm going to upload. And then I have 4 props that I'm looking to confirm. I'm really close to confirming. So I can't give a lot of the UFC stuff out because I've been told there's a package available at WagerTalk. So if they put out a package, I can't, those people I'm sure so many have already bought it because I've been crushing MMA this year. Yeah, I just can't give out the whole card, man. I love you guys. I give out as much as I can. But if they're buying that, it's just out of respect. So let me give you some baseball. Let's do some baseball. Just premiums I'm going to give you here. No leans, just premiums. All right, we bet 953 Miami, 953 Miami. Money line and 1953 Miami first 5. So I gave them out to subscribers at 3% on Miami Marlins on the money line. What did I give you? Miami plus 137 and Miami first 5 plus 115. Now we also bet them at plus half a run, at minus plus half a run minus, at which I did for the groups that I work with. But again, I minimize my risk for my subscribers. Okay, MLS, premium play in MLS. See, this is the bonus of being live on the floor with me. Soccer, North America, MLS, Houston Dynamo versus Minnesota. Houston Dynamo versus Minnesota. We're going to go over 2.75 up to minus 170, 2.75 up to minus 170, or over 3 up to minus 125, over 3 minus 125. There we go. All right, I got there. I'll go to 130 at over 3. I'll go to 130 at over 3. Go up to 130. %3 play. See how they change it? They'll go over 2.75 up to minus 170, or over 3 up to minus 125. We'll go to 130. Boom. Love it. Love it. Houston Dynamo. Let's have a good day. We got action today. If you're a subscriber, this is what I live for. This is what you should live for. Because if you're betting 0.25s correctly, you have the bankroll. You have the bankroll. I'll go 130 on that. Giving you guys the best of it. Shit, I got a much better number. I hope you guys did too. Because I hope you have outs, man. If you only have 1 out, don't place bets till you get at least 2 more. You're doing yourself a huge disservice. Huge disservice. Putting yourself behind the 8 ball for sure. Sorry, I'm sending these to Philly. Oh man, I'm taping 2 UFC shows this week. Damn, it's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm having such a good year on those shows, man. It's tough when you have to bet, when you have to do like a couple weeks out, give your picks, because a lot changes. But sorry, I'm talking to myself. Forgive me. Got to brush the hair again. Forgive me. Who was the soccer teams? Minnesota. Look for MLS, baby. Houston versus Minnesota. There we go. All right, sorry. It was the UFC. They're trying to confirm a meeting for Monday. I can't do 2:30. We confirmed 3, and now they're doing 2:30. Ace can't do 2:30. I got a meeting with Gianni at 2:30. There's some things. All right. What else do we have? All right. Let me look at some questions because we're running late. Yeah, we're running late. Can't go much longer. Where are we at? All right. I thought I lost you guys for a second. Hold on, hold on. All right. I answered Mark's. You're welcome, Mark. You're welcome. You're welcome. Honestly, transparency to me is most important. I want anyone that's partnered up to me to know what a winning year looks like. That's why I've kept up. If you go to thebigmoves.com, I've kept up. I don't know if my ex-wife took it down now, but I even had paid to make sure they keep that site up because I have documented results going back to 2015. And I want anyone willing to partner with me long term to look at any of those years so they could understand. We place a lot of bets. There's a lot of swings. Even during our years where I had a year where I think I tripled. We not doubled bankroll, we tripled bankroll. And somewhere in the middle of it, I had one of the worst runs like that I could remember in a while. It was just horrific. Like we were losing, not just like now how we're losing baseball, but we were winning in tennis and so and other things. So it wasn't as bad, or we could be down 200 units. We would have had to adjust already. But where we were losing at everything, and it ended up being like one of the most profitable years. You just can't time that shit, and you don't know how like it's going to go. That's why I keep score by doing year to year, because you have to for pick selling. You got to be able to say this is what I did for the year so people could know. But the truth is, it really is one big long war that we're in. So I'm transparent as anything because I want anyone that partners up to me to know what they look like, what they should look like. All right. Okay. Let me see. I'm sure I missed some of these questions. You may have to post twice. Damn, they go so fast, man. I miss a lot of them. I'm sure you get asked this a lot. How did I get involved with the Wise Guys? What's the best way to start networking? The easiest question, the best way to start networking, provide accounts for guys like me. Provide accounts for guys like me, but make sure they're good accounts because you're going to have to stand for the money, or else once you develop a bad name, you're done. Nobody will work with you. So you got to make sure if you provide accounts for someone like me, you're able to pay me even if your book stiffs you. That's number one. How I got involved is exactly like that. I was a bookmaker in Philadelphia. I was good friends with Philly Godfather. I mean, we were like cousins, we're family. And he actually hooked up with the animals who were behind the Tim Donaghy scandal. I mean, these guys were doing things with Don Bett. I could go on for hours to tell you the shit that they were doing. They were decades ahead of anybody else as far as being sharp and wise guys are. So anyway, Steve, we hung out and he asked me if he could, throw in some bets. So I said, absolutely. Gave him an account then I was answering phones. So he would call and bet. Well, Steve was winning. And I was like, bro, where are you getting this shit? So he broke it down, told me the whole story and said, yo, instead of fucking help me out, find me some accounts. Fucking everybody in the gambling industry and shit. Because back then I was really into gambling. He wasn't as much. Like Steve wasn't a big bettor, which was smart. That's why he had money management skills off the start, because he wasn't a gambler. I was like, I'm down. Once I saw what the organization was like, and he took me to where the office was, and I saw the hookup and the Billy Walters phone and all that shit, I was sold. I said, these guys are next level. And Steve was high enough up the food chain already where he was in the main room. He's a couple years older than me, but we grew up together. So anyway, I started getting accounts. Me and Steve, we partnered up and just started getting accounts for these guys. And next thing you know, me and him had like so many fucking accounts. We were going everywhere. We and Steve were driving to New York to freaking get accounts and shit. We were ready to go to Canada to get accounts. So that's how it started. And eventually that got me to out here to bet at the window because we started getting stiffed. Like again, back then people thought everyone lost. So someone winning was foreign to them. But once they started realizing about, that there are betting syndicates and wise guys out there, they stopped giving newspaper lines, started using odds services, and stopped wanting to pay people like us for winning. So that's how I got into it. And that's what I urge anyone else that wants to have access to winning information, provide accounts for winners. The only problem is you have to know this. I'm working, and when I was moved, now I give accounts, I have other guys working for me. So I'm not sitting there hand betting everything myself, okay? Or even putting it into the bot myself. But when you start out, you got to remember, if you give it, let's say you give me 2 accounts, those are 2 out of maybe 100 that I'll be working with. I'm only going to place the bets in your account that the number's available. If the number's not available, you won't get the bets in those accounts. So your job is to get the most accounts possible for me so that you get the most amount of plays possible for me. Because I could win 10 straight weeks, but just keep losing with your 2 accounts because the plays that got into those lose. That's just randomness. Now, over the long term, they're all plus EV, so you will be profitable, but it's happened like that. Until you move up the food chain, you don't make even money moving steam. It's a lot, dude, everything takes time. That's the thing I've learned more than anything else. Everything takes time. Nothing comes overnight. And that's the same. So let me give out some baseball real quick. Then we talk MMA and we could shut this down. Oh, wow, the site is closed over there. I'll try to see. I don't talk to the ex, but I'll see if she could send over or maybe Johnny could sweet talk her to send over the documented results, because I do have all those years listed every single day over there. But yeah, I'm exclusive at WagerTalk. I'm fucking team WagerTalk through and through. I love what they're doing. I love what they're going to do. And I wanted to be a part of it. And it was just a great opportunity. So I'm full WagerTalk 100% and no longer affiliated with the big moves. All right, let me try to pull. Jesus, there's so many questions. All right, let's get into the, I'll give you another baseball. I have so much moves today, boy. We are in such action. I love a day like this. Now, they're not their make or break days, but they could really help a good day, or they could crush you if you have a bad day. That's for damn sure. All right, so let me go through real fast. I gave you Miami, right? I gave you Miami, first 5 and game. All right, let me see. Ooh, I might have this one. Yeah, I'll give you a total too. You ready? Just make sure, because I think I'm going to upgrade this. Yeah, we're going to, let me see the upgrade. Texas, Houston under 8.5, I have a 3% play. I'm going to add 1% at under 8, adding 1% at under 8. I see one book that still has 8.5 on my screen. If you get 8.5, obviously get 8.5, but I'm going to add 1% at minus 105, So now we have 4% on this, which is 1% of bankroll, 0.25. We don't want to go broke. That makes me laugh every time. The fact that anyone would have a $10,000 bankroll and start betting 400 or 500 a game is, well, I did it too. So what am I saying? It's freaking laughable. But it's funny, if you tell someone that has a $100,000 bankroll that they should never bet more than 1,000 a bet, 1250 at the most, they're gonna look at you, you're freaking nuts. That's why 99.5% lose. All right, so I gave you Houston, Texas. Added. All right. Yeah, because I got 3% of it on 8.5 and 1% of it at 8. I think they're still good. None of the worst that's going to happen at 8 is a push. If it lands 8, we hit the one bet, push on the other. Dodgers in Detroit 2-2. We had the under in that. They went under 9.5 and under 9, huh? And Detroit. They bet Detroit first 5 and Detroit for the game in that one. All right. The only other game I'll give you a later one, game 2. I'll give you St. Louis game 2. Take St. Louis game 2. I was going to be a big dog, but take St. Louis game 2. Just money line. We didn't bet the first 5 in that second game. So there you have it. There's baseball for you. Got some NBA. I can't give you guys. I usually give you the steam room. We do the whole card. I go over the whole card, obviously, for my guys. I just can't do that today, guys, because I see there's a package up. And I love, they do more free stuff. Gianni does more free stuff than anybody, man. And they always urge me to put in premium plays early so they could give them out as free picks, which is freaking really awesome. Yeah, told you, when we bet, they move, baby. When they bet, they move, baby. Yeah, Mac, they are. They're fire, baby. They're fire. The summer leagues where it's at when they match up. Nate, here's the question I'm going to answer for everyone. Here's what he asked. This is an important one for us, Ace. I don't think I've heard you talk about this. I haven't. And here, this is key. How much line movement should we allow before we pass on a bet? For example, if you show -110 on a WagerTalk and all I can find is -130, should I still place the bet? If not, where's the cutoff point? Where should I pass? Okay. If you have a 3% on 110, all I can get is 130. Do I drop to 2%? Okay. That's a great, great question. Here's the answer, and it's never going to change. Everyone's risk tolerance differs, number one. You have to know that going in. Here's what I do, though. Look at a money line conversion. Just Google money line conversion chart. Google money line conversion chart. You'll see Boyd's Bet has one. You'll see different whatever. Gaming Today, I think, has one that has a calculator. Anyway, it converts the money line into implied win percentage. So a -400, next to it will say 80%. So if you have a -400, the break even is 80%, okay? You have to win above 80% of those kind of bets for -400s to be profitable. So here's what I do, because you can't just say only go 10 cents, 20 cents, because the difference between a -200 and a -210 is 1% in implied win probability. Meaning if I give out -200 and you look up and your screen is -210, you should automatically bet it. Here's why. Because the break even for -200 is 66.7%. The break even for -210 is 67.7%. So it's only a 1% change in implied win probability. Our hold's got to be a few percent, our edge has to be a few percentages above the hold, or we would not bet it. So right away, a bet like that, I wouldn't be afraid of. But now let's look at the difference between -120 and -130. -120, the break even is 54.5. The break even on -130 is 56.5. So that 10-cent movement is actually a 2% change in implied win probability. In that case, I would, if I took it, I would limit my bet a little bit, because now I know I gave up more of my edge because I gave up more percent in implied win probability. So I may make it a 2% instead of a 3%. That's how I work it. And again, for me, I don't have a system where I say always and never. This is what I do. This is what I do. Because a lot of it has to do with feel, how I feel about the bet. Because like I explained to you guys, unless I don't handicap the sport, I only release to subscribers those bets that I place for the groups that I agree with. Otherwise, I don't. So if I like the play, I may still give it, even if it moves 2%, may even give it at that same, still bet it the same, I mean. So that's what I recommend you do, Nate, and I recommend everyone does. Have that screen up so you know what your break even is. or start to memorize those numbers so you know what a minus 130 means, what a minus 150 means. You'll know, oh, minus 150, that means 60% break even. So this team's got to win 6 out of 10 times at this number just to break even. Can they win 7 out of 10 times? Okay, they can. It's profitable. That's the real way to bet. That's the real way to look at it. And I want you guys to start approaching it this way and not just approach it as the watch Sports Center, listen to previews, and watch games and gather all the information that way. Because we're betting into a market. We're betting into a market. And you can know everything about a company, read everything you can on a company, everything you can. But then you still got to pull up the chart if you're going to buy the stock and look at where the chart is. Is it at its highs? Is it at its lows? Did it just go up over the last 30 days? Like, that's part one isn't enough. So that's the goal. That's the goal. Now let's get to some MMA. I really can't give out shit, but here, let me just point you in some directions that I like. You know what's crazy? I'm going to show you guys something. I got to do this. Within 6 months, this is a girl that never watched MMA, was never an MMA fan, never bet sports. This is what I have all week. This is her, what she's doing, this shit. Can you guys see this? I don't even know where the freaking camera is. She's handicapped the entire UFC card, has her straight bets that she wants me to place for her, has her 2 parlays that she wants to place. One is her long shot parlay. One is her strongest bets parlay. She knows she's only betting such a small percentage compared to her straight bets. I like that. She's learning very much, meaning her straight bets are for $200 each. She's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 straight bets, and her parlays are $20 parlays. I love that. She's learning so quickly, man. Learning so quickly, baby. Dad, listen to all these steam rooms. What do you think? So let me look at typology. Let's see. We'll pull up UFC stats, actually. All right. All right. I gave out 2 4% so far, 2 4% plays in UFC, and I'm actually going to give another 4%. Hey, I'll give this 4% now. How's that? That'll be the play for you guys. All right, ready? Just get the line. Nick actually gave me this earlier. I should have got down earlier on it. I would have got a better number. I just didn't have a strong opinion. The more I work, I did. But the truth is, at one point, she was a minus 200 favorite. So now getting her at minus 135 isn't the worst, especially since I could see minus 130 at South Point. I see 125 also. I'm going to give it, though, where it's the most, 135. We're going to bet Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jasmine over Fatima Klein, who is on short notice. So we're going to go over. We're going to go Jasmine Jasudavicius, minus 135. Babe. Can you grab me water? Sorry. Yeah, because I have coffee and I killed that and it got warm. You got your UFC picks ready to go? You even got your glasses on. They want to know your walk. What's your walk today? She's got to walk. She's got to walk. There's somebody on the road. What's the walk? I love you guys. Thanks, babe. Thank you. Ooh. Oh, minus 110. Good bet. Great bet. JDE 224. He got down on JJ at minus 110. Bro, you did your job. That is exactly the definition of a great bet. Okay? We know right now at minus 145, the break even is 59%, 59.2. So 59 and a half, we'll say. You got minus 110. That's 52 and a half. You have a 7% edge in implied win probability. You beat the closing line. You beat the fuck out of it, bro. You slapped it. You beat it up. You did whatever you wanted to it. You manhandled it. So you know what you do? You kick your feet up. And now you hope that JJ goes out there and does her job. That's it. You did yours. You did yours. You placed a great bet. If you could have a minus 110 in your pocket that goes off at minus 145, you placed a great bet. Goes off at minus 135, excuse me. You placed a phenomenal bet. Phenomenal bet. Even you have a 5% edge in implied win probability. Huge, huge, huge. But that doesn't mean because you placed a great bet, JJ's going to go out there and win the fight. The bet's a great bet, and she can still lose, but you keep placing that. You keep laying 110 and it closing 135, and I promise you, you are going to be up money on the book. Unless you incorrectly bet size, they can't beat you. That's sports betting in a nutshell. What you were able to do with JJ, that's exactly the job. It's not predicting the winner. We can't do that. Nobody can do that because JJ could fight 3 hours later or tomorrow morning and the result would be different. Like we don't know it would come out the exact same way. That's the randomness of one fight. But you as a sports bettor can't approach it that way unless that's the only fight you're ever going to bet. Then it just matters to pick the winner if you're never betting again. Forget the line. It doesn't matter. But if you're going to bet again, the only thing that matters isn't that JJ wins. It's that JJ closes it at 135 when you closed it, when you got 110. That's the thing that I'm trying to get sports bettors to grasp, recreational ones, that they still continue to argue with me. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept to grasp, especially when I equate it to the coin flip and how a coin flip could still be a lose even though it's a great bet. But somehow they can't carry that over to sports. They believe in sports like a great bet wins. And just nothing could be further from the truth. So great job on JJ. Hopefully for our sake, she goes out there. Ernesto, never, 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 never apologize for asking a question, especially if it's the same one. That's the only way we get it to sink in. Dude, remember I kept saying I'm not repeating myself because I like my voice. I do it because it's the way things, for me at least, I learn. And I've explained it like I see fighters do the same move a billion times. Their trainer has them throwing the same punch 60, 70, 80 times, 100 times, that same punch every single day. And they're doing it for one reason. So when they get into that fight, that punch comes naturally. The more we talk about it, Ernesto, the more we go over it, even if it's a lot of the same things, the more we learn them, the more they become second nature. Don't ever, ever, ever apologize. And whether I'm running hot or cold, don't ever feel you can't speak your mind. If you're upset or if you're questioning something, please, that's what the steam room's for. I swear to you, there's no disrespect. Our goals are the same. We want to make money. So even if we argue and fight, when it's over, we go, we have a drink, have dinner, because our goal's the same. No one's trying to get over on each other or hustle anybody, or for me to win, you have to lose, or for me to lose, for you to win, I have to lose. This isn't that kind of deal. This is the kind of deal where for me to win, we both have to win. We both have to profit. So I know our goals are aligned. And me having to come face you every week puts that added pressure on me that I actually enjoy. So don't ever, 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 and I swear to you, I never take it as a disrespect. Sometimes even I may be having a bad day. Something might have pissed me off. The dog may have pissed in the fucking house when it's fucking still, excuse me for the cursing, but as some dog just don't learn, dude. Like what? Seriously? Anyway, her dog. And so I may be pissed off at something. So don't ever take it, or my energy may be a little off. Never, 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 because of something you guys say, especially in the steam room. Yes, on social media, I get a lot of that talk a lot of shit. That stuff just, I don't, thank God. Now my girl does my social media, so I don't even look at that shit. But even before, I didn't pay attention to it. But you guys, I pay attention to everything. I pay attention to every single one, every single thing you say, bro. Everything you say. And your loyalty and your trust, like I want to repay that tenfold. That's why I swear to you, like I'm trying to do everything I can for us to turn this around and make this a winning year. Like I know it is very probable, possible, and should happen. Like I wish I could just do it easily every single year. You know, that I know since we have the edge, this is all we have to do. But I know it's just not going to be that way. Just like my other investments, there are those ups and downs. Thank you, Ernesto. Thank you. It's greatly appreciated. And like I said, you will be rewarded for that patience. You will be rewarded. All right, last question, because this guy wrote a long one and he owes me, I owe him that. You took the time to write this. I'll give you the time to answer it. Once I could scroll to it. Your fucking computer sucks. This Apple. Jesus. Babe, I think I fucked up and I'm out of the thing. Oh no, I'm back. Okay. I'm back. I can't pull up this one question. I can't get to it. And then I could shut this down. I could get your bets in too. See how this scrolls? You scroll it down. Someone wrote a nice long question. I just want to answer it for them. Go down.
It's loading.
Is that what it's doing? Is that just because there's so many?
This?
No, that's the last one, right? So go up a little more, a little more. Oh, hold on. Team BR, when would you play two hands in blackjack? Only when the count's negative. No. When the count's high, you want to go vertical. You never want to bet horizontal. You're eating up cards. You don't want to eat up cards. The only time I ever want to eat up cards is when it's the shoes against me and I want to get to the next one. And I know I'm going through negative EV hands anyway. That's the only time I'll split the two hands so I could eat up cards. Otherwise, no. You want to bet vertical. You don't want to, there it is. There it is. This one. All right. Hey, Vegas runner. Can you share some memorable, cooler stories from the casino? You know, those moments when someone joins a hot blackjack table, makes a questionable play, like saying, I want a 15 against a face card, and the whole table goes to hell. Ever had? Dude, listen, I've been in there where with a high count, and I know what to tell someone, like, you shouldn't be hitting this or hitting this, but I never say anything. I swear to you. I keep my mouth shut. And even when I get pissed, when someone, like, should have stood, but they hit, and that made us lose, I never get upset. For one reason only, because over the long run, it's not going to affect me. I'm playing 200 hands an hour, 800 hands every 4 hours. If I could get an 8-hour shift in, I'm playing over 1,500 hands. That one doesn't going to make or break me. But more importantly, how do I know his fuck up the last time didn't help us, or his mess up the next time didn't help us? So those things balance out. I don't even, I try not to even let them enter the conversation for me. Like, they don't even bother me at all. As humans, you get pissed, but I don't let it affect me. My job is to keep an accurate count and bet size properly. That's it. That's it. What anyone else does, I can't control. But I try to play one-on-one with the dealer. The most I'll have is another player. If there's 2 or 3 at the table, we ain't sitting. We ain't sitting. Lately, I don't even sit. My girl sits. And I just stand behind her and act like she's trying to learn how to play. And that's worked for us tremendously, tremendously. But that's what I say. That's the only time you go to 2 hands. The only time you go to 2 hands is when you want to eat cards. And as far as those, it's happened all the time. The craziest things that happens is this. When I get backed out, here's what happens. I'm playing, everything's normal. Then I start to see a little gathering behind the pit of the suits. And that's when my girl will be like, uh-oh, it's happening. And I'll be like, grab the phone, grab your phone so you can tape this. Because we know it's coming. And then within 5 minutes of that group gathering, you'll see about 3 security guards leading another person with a suit to my table. Security guards split. The person with the suit steps forward and says, please push his chips back. The dealer pushes my chips back. Even if I have a hand, it doesn't matter. They push the chips back. And she says, Mr. Karalis, you know you can't play here. And I act like I didn't hear them. They say, Mr. Karalis. So you look, say, you know you're not welcome to play blackjack here. You can play any other game on our casino floor, but you're not welcome to play blackjack here. That's what they say. If you try to ask why, they say, we just made that determination. We don't want your blackjack action. And you could say, why? It doesn't matter. Sir, we've determined we don't want you to play blackjack here. You're welcome to play any other game. If you give them shit, then the security's there to walk you out of there. And they can either, it's happened to me once, where they call Metro on you and they trespass act you. And if you're ever caught back on the property, you get arrested for trespassing. So anyway, what happens is once they tell you the suit comes and says you got to go, you can't play blackjack, anyone else at the table is looking like, what the hell is going on? Was he cheating? Did they catch him doing something? What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? And that's when I explain to them, nobody's cheating. They just believe that I have an edge over them. So if I sit here long enough, I'm going to take their money. They know that if you sit here long enough, they're going to take your money. So they let you play. In other words, they're telling you they think you're dumb enough to lose your money to them. They think I'm smart enough to win their money. What do you want to keep playing? Keep playing. I'm just honest with them. I'm just honest with them. It happens all the time. They look shocked. They're like, oh, I only seen this in the movies. How much have you beaten them for? Oh, they think I've won 50 million, 10 million, 2 million, 3 million. They're like, how much have you won here? How much have you won here? And I'm like, I'm about 40,000, 22,000, 9,000, maybe 100 at a couple, 6 figures at a few casinos. But mostly it's 5-figure wins. And they're like, seriously? And I'm like, yeah, this is a freaking $25 table and they're throwing me out of it. Or this is a $100 table and they're throwing me out of it. So yeah, a lot of stuff. Love you guys. We're planning something with blackjack. In fact, I'm having a meeting on Monday about that because I really do think we want to put a seminar together. I'd love nothing more than having an army of killers out there doing some damage. Who knows? Maybe if I see enough efficient guys out there, I'll put a bankroll together and have you guys play it. We'll see how that works out. Love you guys. Have a great day today, and let's do some damage. God bless you and yours.